All right, so it is Thanksgiving, and I'm full, and I'm wearing sweatpants. We are going to play my home golf course that somebody had built and stuck. I will figure out who it is here in a second, and I'll give them a shout out. But yes, so now my home course is on GSPRO, and I'm going to play it for the first time. All right, so this is the first hole. We're going to do a little flyover here. Jay Rockaway built this course. I forgot to turn on my microphone, so I have to do a voiceover here, but it's okay. There should be a little shelter house behind this green. It doesn't really affect gameplay at all, but I would kind of expect to see it back there. All right, so I try to hit a draw here, and it worked out okay. I would take this every day of the week, really. The problem is that it's OB on the right if you hit it out of bounds in that driving range, so that can be troubling if you're trying to hit a draw and it just doesn't draw. I would take that all day. Next shot, I try to hit a fade with a pitching wedge. It doesn't fade. It goes straight. Right club though, right distance, just didn't fade. So the designer did a really good job with the undulations in the green. A lot of these feel accurate, and they do move exactly as I was expecting them to, or as much as I was hoping them to, I should say. All right, so that'll be a give me there. Next hole is a par 5. This one's kind of hard to get 2 and 2 because it's a little dangerous. There's a kind of a drop off on the right side, and there's a bunch of bunkers on the left. So my plan was just to hit something in the middle of the fairway or near the fairway, then hit something over the hill, and then try to hit a full wedge into the green, and then 2 putt for par, maybe 1 putt, get a birdie, but we'll see if that happens. So this is driver that actually came out pretty well. Middle of the fairway, little short, kind of a softer swing there. I didn't try to kill it, but it still went out almost 260. I'll take it. Here I think I take an 8-iron maybe and just try to hit like a decent draw that kind of rolls out a little bit more, but it doesn't draw as much as I wanted, and it ends up on the right side of the fairway, which is still fine, but dangerous. Next shot, I try to hit a wedge into the green, but it had way too much spin on it, and it just didn't get it there. So the undulation of this green is pretty accurate too. Did a really good job. You can see the clubhouse off to the left back there. Looks pretty good. And so I'm just going to try to chip this close to the hole. And 3 feet or so left. Acceptable. Next hole, I try to hit a 9-iron on this par 3. Try to hit a cut, but as you'll see through this whole round, I was just leaving the face a little bit too far open, and I was just getting these little soft shots that kind of just are short right. So have to work on that, but hit out of the sand there onto the green, and left myself this 8-footer that I smash. Well, no, I didn't smash this one, but it didn't make it either. This is a hybrid that I just try to hit in the shape of the fairway, just try to match the curvature of the fairway, and it worked out perfect. I'll take that. So that puts me about a pitching wedge out. Again, try to hit that cut with a pitching wedge. Just left the face too far open. It's just short right. I'm so afraid of just doing a double cross and pulling that I leave the face a little too far open. So there, I chunked that wedge. So that left me with this 14-footer uphill, and I smash it past the hole. Again, trying to hit that cut, and I leave the face too far open. And it puts me over to the right in the rough. Been here many a time. So I'm in the rough, 157 uphill, 7 yards. So I try to take a 7-iron and try to get it past the bunkers was the plan. And I carry it all the way to the pin. A little long, but I would definitely take that. Downhill putt here. And I thought I was going to go, but it does not. Next hole, long par 4. I try to hit that draw drive, and it just doesn't draw back. It stays out to the right. Where I'm kind of normally at, to tell you the truth. Over here there by 1 green. So here I'm trying to take an 8-iron and slice it around these trees. It doesn't slice. It went straight. So I'm off the edge here, off to the left on the side of the hill. Chip up on, and I thought this was going to stop in the circle. It don't. It kept going. So I have this putt, and I made it for par. Next hole, long par 5. I tried to hit a cut at that tree, but again, left the face too far open, and I'm out to the right. So here I just take I think I took a hybrid and just tried to punch through there with a little draw, but it overdrew, and I am on the left side of the fairway in the rough. Took a sand wedge here that did not get executed as I had planned in my head. I think I bladed this a little bit and just left it out to the right. I was trying to kind of hit a little draw on it, and it just didn't happen. It was a bad strike. So I'm right there on the fringe, and I hit this chip, and this chip was pretty much perfect, and it went in. Hole number 8, I hit a 9-iron with my straight swing. My straight swing is the swing that I do with my shoulders. That's the feeling that I have in my shoulders, but the problem is I don't know if the ball's going to fall a little bit left or a little bit right, but the ball goes straighter when I do that swing, so I pull out a birdie here. Next hole, I try to hit driver up the left side of the fairway to be as close to the corner as I can, and wouldn't you know it, I actually hit a straight drive. It's amazing. That's rare. Middle of the fairway. I'm like 160 in, so I take a 7-iron and try to hit that straight swing again, but I smash it 164. So I blew it over the hole, had the chip back, and this is downhill, so I thought it would kind of land and roll. It stopped. So I have this putt here for par, and I actually make it. All right, so we're off to the back 9. I hit a 9-iron here, trying to draw it into the middle of the green. It doesn't draw back enough and just kind of ends up a little bit short to the right. But it's not wet, so I'm happy with it. We'll just take a 30-foot putt here and try to get it in the circle, and I barely get that done. Next hole, I try to hit this cut with the hybrid that I've been working on, and that's the one that actually came out right. So I try to remember to make sure I keep that face a little bit more shut and trust that it's going to come back. And it did. So here I just lay up with like an 8-iron or a 7-iron or something. And that worked out pretty well. Somewhat of the middle of the fairway leaves me in with kind of a 3/4 sand wedge here. And I hit that pin high just a little bit to the right. And leaves me about a 10-foot putt. And I was hoping to make this, but I don't think I do. Yeah, hit it way too hard, past the hole. All right, next hole. Trying to hit that cut again, but with a driver this time. And again, I just leave that face too far open. This one's not too bad. Had I started that farther to the left, it'd have been perfect, but just carried the bunker. I'm in the rough here. So I took my pitching wedge and tried to hit that straight kind of shot, maybe a little bit of a cut. It came out straight, and it actually worked out okay. So we'll take a look at that. There it goes. It lands and it rolls to like 6 inches or so, which, hey, I'll take that. Next hole. So I tried to hit a draw here and try to get it to run out down the fairway. I overdrew it, and now I'm over here in front of this tree. So I took a 9-iron and tried to hit some sort of punch out rolling hook that kind of would come back to the fairway and onto the green. Worked out okay. Left me like a 30-footer or so. So just trying to 2-putt this, hit this putt inside the circle and get away from this hole. All right, next hole is hole number 14. So I took an 8-iron here trying to draw it back into the middle of the green, and it just didn't come back far enough. So about pin high, just off to the right though. So again, I'm left with another 30-footer. And just a hair left and a little long. Next hole, I try to hit that cut with the hybrid again. However, I just launch it too high. It's fine, it worked out great, but I wouldn't have wanted it to be that high. It's just going to affect the amount of rollout that it has. All right, so here I'm about a 9-iron out with that 5-yard up elevation change there. And then there's that tier in the back right. My plan was if I accidentally hit it too long, I may actually get it to roll down and be close to the hole. So I tried to hit like a 3/4 9 just to see what would happen here. And again, that was my straight swing. And it worked out okay. So, pin high, just a hair right. And I got this putt to make a birdie. And it goes in. So I think the tee boxes on this hole are moved up a little bit, because normally this ditch that's out there is a pain for me. But I managed to clear the ditch and hit the cart path, which shot me 330 yards from the tee. That doesn't happen too often, but that's not impossible. Here I took a 8-iron, I want to say, and just tried to punch under these trees and roll it out to the middle of the green. But it just keeps kind of rolling and hitting the back edge of the green. So I pull out the putter and try to hit a decent putt that hopefully would go in, but it don't. So this next hole is a par 5. Now there's a ditch out there about 240, 250, something like that. And it's easy to get the ball to roll in that ditch. So what I've learned to do is, since I'm not going for this green in 2 because of that bunker that's right there in the front, what I do is just take 3 7-irons. Maybe 2 7-irons and like a 9-iron or an 8-iron, depending on how good I hit them. But 3 7-irons. So there's the first 7-iron, middle of the fairway. This next 7-iron, I just try to hit over the left edge of that tree with a draw. And I hit it a little fat, to be honest. But it still works out just fine, though. That's probably a safer shot than hitting some hybrid or a 3-wood and ending up over by the trees. So here I'm 170 out. So instead of changing clubs, I went ahead and hit the 7-iron again and just tried to give it a little bit more juice. And that worked out just fine. Hit a nice draw that is coming back to the middle. And it releases just short of pin high, but acceptable. And I thought this putt was going to drop, but it does not. So hole number 18 here, I hit a few drives just goofing around, trying to see if I can get onto the green, because these tee boxes seem like they're a little bit closer than what they are on TGC for me. But the designer here did a really good job, Jay Rockaway. I have no idea who you are, but you did a good job. You can see the buildings out there to the right. You got the bunkers where they're supposed to be. It's a pretty good build. And I've been on this green only in simulator golf, but if I try to smash it as hard as humanly possible, I can get away with something that's pretty close to the front. And for me, that's my give it everything I got swing. That's 105 miles an hour. To me, that feels like a John Daly swing. And then here I am just hitting this chip shot close to the green, and it's an auto putt. And we're good. So we are 2 under after the 18-hole round. And Jay Rockaway did a pretty good job. That was Jaycee Golf Course.